Oh, but you're doing all right, bud. Let's see what's happening, and we'll show you. This is the latest on what's going on in Turkey, in the city of Van. Basically, what they're looking at today, sunshine, clouds moving in, then cloudy, rainy tonight, and 43 degrees as they try to dig out survivors for the earthquake there. Closer to home, we'll show you. We're looking at basically a lot of wet weather making its way, and warmer weather down through the plains.
Didn't know which ones I wanted to use, but since this one has trees and flowers in it, I'm going to use this one instead. Okay, there's my width of fabric. Width of fabric.
Beautiful picture outside. A live shot from high atop Mount San Miguel, and this paints the picture we're going to see today.
See how they cut this? At this end, it's nice and straight. At this end, I have a really, really bad cut. But they do that at Joann's Fabric. That's how they cut it.
She and her former radio host partner, Jennifer Koppelman-Hutt, are out now with their new tiny self-help book, as they call it. It is called Whateverland, Learning to Live Here, and they have stuff around to answer your questions. Good morning again to both of you ladies. Well, let's talk about it. We went over last hour some of the...
Okay, cut off the rough edge. The first one I need is going to be 6.5. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6.5.
I think taken out of context. Sure. I had a friend growing up, a friend who's my age, who grew up playing top three.
And I need one that is 9.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The half's already there. Be cutting these 12.
Well, I think that being older than my mother was a great help because I have much more life experience back home, which I hope my daughter's close with me like I am with my mother, of course. Cheryl from Arcadia asked if you regret making public some of these less than flattering truths about your mother. I don't think they're less than flattering. I think they're just truth, like everyone else.
1, 2, 3.
Did she see it coming? Did Martha know this was coming? As I just said, these are stories that have been told over and over again. Okay, we talked last hour about how the two of you, having hosted a show together for 6 years, are no longer friends. It happened. It was weird to ask why write a book together if you're not friends. Well, we wrote the book while we were still working together and still maintaining a good friendship. Things changed. When we wrote the book, everything in the book was, and it doesn't matter in the book. Everything in the book. Here's the book. Yeah. It's like, listen, it's like everybody's life has great moments of joy and other moments of not such joy. And
4,
moments of
5.
and happiness and ease. So that's life. It's funny.
That last one was a little bit off.
A lot of tweets that people on Facebook ask me about because this is curious to them. How it is that you can know friends
By quite a bit, so I'm going to take that last one and throw it over here. I can actually tell that it's not as wide on one end.
Right, that's why she looked at me. Well, do you think, are you okay with that? I understand, but I have your feelings. I'm okay. I have great friends. I have a full life. I have a terrific husband, and you need me. Well, me too. Listen, would I be friends with Alexis? Of course. Would I understand that I'm not really her type in terms of a friend? Sure. It's okay. Okay, but to the larger question, I mean, this is an advice book above all things. And
12, 13. Let's get next one. That's okay.
What would you want people to know about you? We're incredibly close, and we're both very opinionated people. So while it can be...
So now all of my fabric will be cut except for the bias that goes around the edge, which that will be another tape-in all in itself. Because there's several ways that you can cut it. You can piece it together. That's how I normally do it. There is a way of cutting it where it's a continuous bias tape. I do not know how to do that. I am going to try to figure out how to do that. I've seen it in books and read about it, but I've never actually done it because it makes me nervous about even thinking about doing it. So, not only you are nervous about doing quilts your first time, this stuff that I have not done as far as quilt making, this is my fourth quilt ever that I've made. So, I am basically a novice at quilt making. The only reason I know a lot about it is because I've read a lot. I've studied a lot. I've watched a lot of videos. I have a mother that makes quilts, and I had a mother-in-law that made quilts. And if I had any questions, I went and asked them. It's always good to have someone that you can go and ask questions about quilt making if you need to. But cutting all of your pieces out is it's a tedious job. When I make a quilt, what I do is I cut all the pieces first, and then after all the pieces are done, I do all of the sewing. I'll make my blocks one day, and then I'll connect all of my blocks to the sashin the next day, and then the next day I'll do the border around it, and then next day I will try to do the layering. That's sewing up the back and layering all of them and tying it. And then on my last day, I will put the binding on it. So it goes fairly well. I can do a quilt within maybe a week to 2 weeks. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you can do a quilt within a week, if you get really good at it, some quilts sell for around $300. So you could basically be making $300 a week making quilts. If you really wanted to try to make money at it. The ones that really sell well, and if you get really good at it, are the wedding quilts, the double ring quilts. They're a little bit more intense and probably would take the full week to make, especially if it's for a queen or a king size. Some of those quilts go up to anywhere from $500 to $1,000, but if you can get your time in where you can make one of those within a week, the material is going to be a little bit more. To get $500 to $1,000 in a week is not a bad deal. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $10. $11. $12. Okay, my light red's done. Now I'm going to do my dark red. Now what I have for my back end for my quilt, this is going to be what I have for the back of the quilt. And I got 5 yards of the back, for the back of the quilt. and it's going to have to be pieced also. And I also got this, which is very, very similar to this color here, but it has snowflakes on it. The white squares that people are sending us, if we wanted to, we could sew right up to the edge of the design and have this go all the way around the block and have this be cut out to 6.5 inches. So you have a thin layer of off-white going around, so it kind of brings all of the different whites together if you wanted to do that. I did that. I bought the material. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet or not.
We're aware. Awareness is not the issue. The issue is what causes it and how can we stop it? And how can we
I don't know if I bought enough of this one. I might have to go with my trees. Let's see how much I got first, and we'll see what I can do. Because on the dark red I need 9.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5. And then 12.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have just enough.
You've got to start checking it pure. You'll take your eye off the ball. We've made phenomenal progress in other illnesses. And I think in breast cancer we're inching along. We know how to find things earlier. Right. But we have to remind ourselves that your breast cancer may not just be like my breast cancer. And sometimes finding things earlier does not
double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5. And 12.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Well, you know, we're focusing on finding every mutation in every cancer cell, and that's sort of too late. It's like going to
now see, the 5/8 basically was the exact amount for the large square, for the large cuttings.